Okay, it is 3:05. I'm going to call the Dayton Conservation Commission to order for a special meeting. This meeting is being recorded. Would everyone stand, please, for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, today we are here to review, discuss, and act upon DI Trust comprehensive conservation subdivision seeking to construct 135 single-family homes and 13,137 linear feet of associated roadway off of Forest Street, DEP file number SE 17443. This meeting will be to discuss potential for reopening of the public hearing on the Forest Hills subdivision. And for those of you that have been here in the past, the problem had been that the Mullen report or the Mullen Act requires members that have been constantly in place since the beginning, or at least here for the majority of the meetings where substantial information was presented by the DI Trust. And since that is not the case, we are seeking, we closed the hearing and we found out about this law. We are asking DI Trust to issue a waiver of the 21 days and then to reopen the hearing that we closed so that they can present the material to all of the new members that are here so that a decision can finally be made.
Motion to reopen public hearing for Forest Hills subdivision.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Joshua, okay, we have two different papers here to consider on waiving the 21-day limit, which actually closes tomorrow. So we have to get that done. If it's not done, then we have to close or refuse to open the meeting. And if that's the case, then it's going to be a lengthy process for everyone again. Okay, we have here a 21-day waiver that was presented, or that was designed by the commission, and one that you presented, then has been worked over by not only the commission, but our legal team as well. The waiver that was presented just to us minutes ago with input from our attorney, legal counsel, states this: DI Trust 2 hereby waives the 21-day time period for the issuance of the order of conditions by the Dayton Conservation Commission under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and or under the Dayton Conservation Commission bylaw with respect to that notice of intent submitted by DI Trust 2 on or about May 5, 2021. And that's Mass DEP file number 17-443. The NOI relating to that project known as Forest Hill Estates. Okay, DI Trust 2 provides this waiver subject to the following conditions. It is expressly acknowledged that this waiver is being provided by DI Trust 2 as a courtesy to assist the Dayton Conservation Commission in addressing procedural quorum issues related to changes in membership of the commission since the NOI was originally submitted. DI Trust 2 shall not be responsible for the cost of any further legal notice publications, notices to abutters, or peer review fees with respect to this public hearing. Okay, the public would be re-notified of the reopening of the hearing at the conservation expense, not at DI Trust expense. Since this is a procedural problem that resulted from the change in membership, the commission has already discussed this, and we can do it again later to absorb the fees. The second part is no evidence and or information related to DI Trust 2, the NOI, the project, and or any matters related thereto shall be submitted to, presented to, and or accepted by the Dayton Conservation Commission from DI Trust 2 and or the commission, including from their agent, including but not limited to Beta Group Incorporated and Outback Engineering, except by DI Trust 2 and its agents for purposes of incorporating of existing record and materials and providing a summary of presentation of the existing record and materials. Absent the express written permission and consent of DI Trust 2. In the event the hearing is reopened, the sole purpose shall be to permit DI Trust 2 to present evidence to the Dayton Conservation Commission as presently constituted to assure compliance with quorum requirements. Quite lengthy, but what it's saying is they are going to present the same material that has been presented in the past. And at that time, only Jack Crawford and myself have been members since the date of May 5, 2021, and that is not quorum. So they will present the same information to our new members as well. And therefore, by presenting the material to our new membership, then we would have a quorum to vote and make a legal decision as to this project.
Based on both the Wetlands Protection Act and the local bylaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the third part is we would try to come to an agreement, I guess now even, how much time is going to be needed, dates to set up so that they can be assured that an order of conditions will be written by a certain date. It says the order of conditions for the NOI shall be issued on or before. And what we will do is discuss timing of when Joshua can come in with his team to make that presentation of the same information that has already been presented. Our peer review, their information has all been provided to us. Josh said he will also provide the material, the same material that has been presented. There will be nothing new being presented. It's all going to be the same material so that our new members can listen to, can study, and make a valid decision. Yes.
However, if the public needs to say something, and it's not something they've already said at a meeting, they are allowed to do so during the hearing when we reopen it at that date.
Okay, is that clear? There's only a few of you. Does that seem to be clear to everyone? Okay, so it's not, they're not going to come in with new material. We're not going to come in with new material. It's just a reissuing verbally and written to our new members. And one of our new members is not here today, but he certainly will be when the presentation is made. As it stands now, this would be a quorum anyway. Josh, okay, are you satisfied with my reading of the new?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was generally a pretty accurate summation of what the waiver we would provide in the event the commission elects to vote to reopen the public hearing. I think we just would need to identify a date, because I think what I had promised this commission at the last meeting was if you determine you want to reopen the public hearing, we will sign this and give it to you. That was the sort of exchange. So, but we would want to establish a date, because you need dates certain.
Okay, well, while you're up there, let us consider dates that, when could your team be here to make that presentation?
So-
We prefer to have it, because it might take an hour or two, an hour or so for that presentation?
I would probably allocate approximately an hour.
Okay, and so our next meeting, other than January, because we're gonna have to re-notify, and we said that we would do that. So time-wise, it's probably gonna be February for the first time to get together. 22nd, February 22nd, is that possible?
It's not, and I apologize, because I
Okay, well.
I have 4 dates. They're probably maybe a little sooner than you were anticipating, but I apologize, because I know everyone's got a busy schedule and you're all volunteers. The dates that I was able to get from my team, because the problem is we have people that are traveling for work and traveling, were January 30th, January 31st, February 2nd, and February 5th. Those were the dates, it's tough. I realize that, but because you guys have.
He's away.
Yeah,
Travel in the
I'm
world.
gonna be away. Okay, what I have here is February 29th. We would adjust our meeting schedule to the 29th. So we would change our monthly meeting from the 22nd to the 29th.
Jim, what are your dates you're away again? I wrote it down in the office, but I don't have it.
Who's away?
You.
When are you not
February
here?
29th, no?
No. When are you away?
Oh,
January.
the 4th to
February.
the, and 12 days, so whatever that is.
February 4th to the 16th.
16th.
Could we do that prior week, though, which would be January 30th, Tuesday the 30th, Wednesday the 31st, or February the 2nd? Which
I
is
don't know if we can get notices out.
We
It's-
could get notices out.
Yeah, because that was why. I mean, again, it's not ideal, but that would be if we were to pick, for example, January 31st, which is a Wednesday. That would be that would be 3 full weeks from this coming Wednesday.
Okay, no, so this room is being used
No.
for,
It might not be.
selectmen.
Yeah, no, it's open that evening. We have a meeting on the 10th and then again on the 24th. So the 31st is open.
Okay, let's do it.
And I presume we had talked about for the members of the public making this a later meeting, which is fine with us.
Let's do 7, which is what we normally do.
Okay.
Okay, January 31st, is that what I'm hearing?
We could do 6. What do you guys prefer?
Is that suitable to
Six.
you members?
That's on a Wednesday,
Yeah.
Yeah, January 31st is a Wednesday.
yeah. A regular evening meeting,
I'm sorry?
evening?
Yes, evening.
6 o'clock?
I have a few concerns about the waiver. Is it appropriate to discuss
yeah.
those now, or?
Yep.
Is it what?
Is it appropriate to discuss those? I have a few concerns about the waiver.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, you guys didn't vote yet.
Yeah,
we have to accept this.
We haven't voted to open
Then
the
we
meeting.
have to vote on we have not voted to, reopen the hearing yet. So, because the waiver is part of, the waiver
Waiver
is
has
the-
to get signed and agreed upon, yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do, agree upon the waiver, then we vote on the reopening. Okay, so we're doing this so that we can reopen.
But he has questions about this.
But it's an exchange, so obviously if you have questions, we should answer those before you vote.
Right.
But if you want to stick, whatever order the commission would like to go in is fine with me.
Go ahead.
So the 31st works for me. That's
Okay.
as far as the date that works. A few of the concerns that I have, though, is that it sounds like, please correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a lawyer. As I read through number 2, while public input is going to be allowed, these conditions feel to me a bit like it's a public hearing in name only, where if someone who's a member of the public does raise a legitimate concern that does pertain to a conservation resource area, if we do believe, based on information that the public presents, that there's something that we may need to do or action that might need to be taken, that,
Well, we would, because that's, our deliberation is gonna come after that for the, order of conditions.
Yeah, this does not, just because it's a blank date, it might not be clear. We recognize that we'll have a meeting on the 31st, and that we will then need to add some amount of time on thereafter for purposes of deliberation and issuing a decision.
Okay, you know, and my thoughts are, what happens if we can't get everything in? Then it would probably swing over to our February meeting. If, then we would close. So, I mean, I don't wanna make it the closing 15 days from that date.
Well, I think our position would be we would like to keep it from that date, but if you tell us at that meeting that there are reasons why you want to keep it open and we need to further extend, then we would have to further extend in writing.
Okay, no, but what I'm looking at here, the order of conditions for the NOI shall be issued on or before. So if we have a date sometime in March that we'll issue it before, that's fine.
I think
Whenever we close it, it's gonna be 21 days.
well, I think what we were contemplating, what I talked to Attorney Costa about and Attorney Brennan was that if we meet on the 31st, the idea would be, you know, if we meet that week, then a decision would issue by February 16th, for example. And if at the conclusion, at the meeting on the 31st, this commission makes clear to the applicant that you feel you need additional information and you do not wish to close the public hearing, we will have to
But
make a.
what happens to this if we've already agreed to issue the order of conditions by,
You-
February 15th or 16th? I would rather go to another month ahead and say it will be issued on or before. So the 16th is still there in February, that's not a problem.
Right, but I think the concern is that the way this was structured in the conversations was that we were trying to build out a decision date based upon there being one public hearing.
Well, I would like that
And so-
very much.
And so if another.
my desire.
Right, and if another public hearing is mutually determined to be necessary, because you look at me and you say, I think you want to have another public hearing, then we would need to provide another extension. So that would be the reason, because I think also an undefined period of time during which additional hearings could occur was not something that
Okay,
we had
but-
discussed.
But now, let's look at it another way. Are you gonna come and say, oh yeah, I brought with me another paper, giving you, a 30-day extension?
I actually, I
mean,
think,
if we just do it and say it's gonna be done, you have the end date, but it's most likely gonna be before that.
I understand initially why that would make sense. The problem on mine, and the reason we can't agree to it, is it gives an unended date. You could have 3 meetings in that period of time, which it may end up making sense to do that. But the way that this was discussed with attorneys Brennan and Costa and with my client was, we're going to identify a date certain for a public hearing, then a window thereafter for this commission to deliberate and issue an order of conditions. As I said previously, and I'll say again, I have no doubt that if something comes up on the 31st where it becomes clear that we need to keep the public hearing open, that we would not be looking to close the public hearing for no reason. I think we've established a good relationship with this commission. I think if you felt that we were harming ourselves or this commission by closing the public hearing, then we would, yes, to some extent, we would have to issue another 21-day waiver. And what I would probably do more appropriately is, if I couldn't scratch it out in the moment on a piece of paper, which we could potentially do, is we would state on the record our willingness to keep the public hearing open, and then we would need to provide in writing, as I'm sure Attorney Costa would request, an extension of the 21-day waiver, because that would probably expire in mid-February.
I don't That sounds good, but I don't know that your question was answered. Was it?
No, it's, so if we accept public input, that intrinsically has some known unknowns to it, right? There, we may end up learning of something, or someone may have some public input that's pertinent and requires some kind of action. And so a few of my concerns, well, one of my concerns stems from, well, this seems like it would impact our ability to follow up on anything that is a legitimate jurisdiction issue that gets raised. I'm worried that as this is written, that would handcuff our ability to follow up. I also have concerns that it says no evidence and or information related to DI Trust to the project, the NOI, the project, and or any matter or matters related thereto shall be submitted to, presented to, and or accepted by the Dayton Conservation Commission from DI Trust and or the commission, including from their agents, including but not limited to Beta Group Inc. and Outback Engineering, except by DI Trust and its agents for purposes of incorporating of the existing record materials and providing a summary and presentation of the existing records and materials absent the express written permission and consent of DI Trust. A few of my concerns is that seems that it would prevent us from discussing the previous peer review documents at this meeting. Is that right? So this doesn't say anything about no evidence or information related to the project presented at this meeting. It just seems like a blanket statement. I would have concerns that now will this apply to what we have already done in the peer review that's already taken place, since this doesn't seem to state in plain language that this applies only to the reopened public hearing.
Okay.
Well, this is indicating that we're incorporating the entire existing record
Record and materials.
and materials. So I don't believe that there is an issue, because all of Beta's comments were in writing or were presented at the prior meeting on the 19th or prior meetings, and we're agreeing and acknowledging, much like our presentations will be incorporated, as with theirs, in all writings. So all information and materials that are currently in the public hearing, remember, same public hearing, we're just talking about reopening it. I don't think we would be prevented from discussing it. On your prior comment, my response, that was discussed. So here's the thinking on that. The project has gone on for approximately 2 years with many, many opportunities for public input. While it's possible something new could come up, it's entirely possible, it's somewhat unlikely, and the point of this process is to rectify a procedural infirmity, not create new substantive issues. But the public has a right to come and attend the hearing and speak. And if something new does come up, and this commission looks at us and says, we think that's a legitimate issue, we're concerned about it, we DI Trust would then make a determination. Do we close the public hearing knowing that there's something you feel is not resolved or is open or is problematic, or do we keep the public hearing open? That wouldn't normally be the case, but for the fact that the public hearing closed on the 19th already. So that's why it's different. That was my prior comment, that if something new does come up after 2+ years, I think you will let us know if you feel that is an issue that now needs to be evaluated further. What we're trying very hard to do here is, we will not be putting on new information. We're trying just to address the procedural issue. That's what this is about, is there's a quorum issue and we're trying to help resolve it. And the public has a right to speak at the reopened public hearing in the event this commission elects to go down that path.
Okay, I want to go back to the January 31st date. We would need another meeting to act on that information, to vote our decision. I will not be here for that. I will be away, because so actually the 31st does not seem like an appropriate date, because of, I mean, that's gonna be a Wednesday. We're not gonna go Thursday and do that. It would be the following week, and I will not be here.
So you said you were out until when?
16th.
Boy, that really does, I mean, I acknowledge that we're jamming up the schedule on our end as well, so,
22nd.
well, could I propose this? I would encourage that we still have the meeting on the 31st because we've got a date that works. And then as long as, and then I guess I know I'm traveling the week of the 19th, returning on the 28th.
You're talking February.
Yeah, meaning that the meeting to deliberate, even though I have no active role, I would appreciate the commission's opportunity to attend,
It has to be
would be the week of March 4th, we're now talking?
Yeah, I think March.
Yeah,
No,
we
you're
talked
saying
about
is-
March, having an order by March 4th is what he's saying.
No, I don't know that, no, I think
Having a
they'd have to have the meeting sometime the week of March 4th, because
Okay,
if the commission chair is not available the week of the 5th or the week of the 12th,
Then you're not available on.
yeah, the 19th, is the 19th, is President's Day a holiday in the Commonwealth?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then that's a holiday, and then I'm traveling the 20th through the 28th. Oof. Then I think we would need to try to schedule, I mean, this commission, not we, with the, permission of the commission, we'd be looking at a meeting for deliberation sometime the week of March 4th. I think that sounds like it's the first time. I would,
So, okay, so that would be our first meeting that we would,
Reopen to March 4th.
reopen till, okay, open March 4th. That's what day is that? You have your calendar.
that's a Monday. I think, I don't know whether you wanna meet on, I mean, at that point, we could meet Tuesday, Wednesday.
How's everybody for that?
Well, I mean, as long as it's an evening meeting, it's not bad for me, Jim.
You know, when is our regular meeting in March?
Looks like it'd be the 28th. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, the 21st, excuse me. Third Thursday, right? Yeah, third Thursday.
Yeah, it'd be the 21st, the third
Typically the
Thursday.
third Thursday except February, cause Jim's away, so, yeah, the 21st.
21st?
Well, here's I mean,
No, I'm just,
and you guys are meeting on the 22nd for this?
Yeah, February. 18th is, we missed the deadline.
wait,
for that.
we talking, what month we talking on now?
February,
Sorry, your regular meeting for the month of February is on the 22nd. I was
yes,
just,
cause
22nd.
Mr. Digits is away. He's away for the 15th,
Right.
which it normally would be.
so a meeting to deliberate on Tuesday, March 5th, Wednesday, March 6th, or Thursday, March 7th would appear to be the first mutually agreeable date, subject to everyone's calendars.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
March, what was the date? I apologize.
No, I missed something there. You're saying to have our hearing date.
No, I think the public hearing date, we would seemingly want to continue to keep on the 31st, because I know I can get my team there on the 31st. And then the question becomes finding a date for this commission to deliberate.
Okay.
Which, with the permission of the commission, I would prefer to be able to attend.
So actually then, we wouldn't close it then. We wouldn't close the hearing until March 4th. Let's just throw that number out.
I would prefer that we just keep everything in within 21 days. I mean, it just makes it that much more complicated if we don't. So is there a way we can have a meeting and then schedule issuance or a decision within 21 days from that meeting?
Not within the 31st, I don't believe, because
Not with the 31st.
Jim's traveling and then Attorney Glass is traveling.
Yeah, because I don't come back at that time.
Yeah.
And you know, and so we're gonna have to have a deliberation meeting, and then, and then that meeting and the issuance has to be 21 days from the 31st.
Or you would need something from us if you close the public hearing on that day saying that we would provide a waiver through, whatever that date is in March, or that date plus a day or two or something like that, so you guys can.
So January 31st and,
Let me clarify one. I think as long as the public hearing closes on the 31st, we can be flexible in terms of giving you time, given schedules and calendars to get together, deliberate, and issue the decision. We have to identify dates by rule, like I think Attorney Costa said in the case that he pulled, you have to, reasonable dates are.
What if we have a snowstorm though? I mean, do we wanna lock ourselves into that 31st?
I'm not talking about like putting anyone's feet to the fire. I'm just saying we need to identify dates, and so if we were to meet, and I also, that's almost 2 months from now. That's a.
Wait,
And I realize
you
it's
mean
because-
January 31st?
when would you, if everything
Oh, no,
goes
no.
according to your desire, you're not gonna start anything until, when?
Oh, I mean, yes, everyone's aware of the fact that we have pending litigation with the planning board.
There you go.
Right.
So, well, what I'm saying is if we get everything done by even April, it's good. I mean, so we could have the 31st, not close the hearing, continue it to another date when we would deliberate, whether that be February, and then, would you have to be here for our deliberation?
He would like to.
I would prefer to be, but I have no. You can deliberate without me.
And then we get the 21 days. We'd close it and have the 21 days.
I think the 21 days is usually from the closing of the public hearing.
be February.
I think keeping the public hearing open that late, I don't think I would be able to. I don't think I have agreement on that. That's why I was suggesting we close on the 31st, and then I could provide additional. I think I can get my client to sign up.
There you go. There's the problem. I think this has to be, because we got legal notices and everything else, that becomes a problem.
Right, well, no, just to be clear, that's what I'm saying. Have the public hearing on the 31st,
Yeah?
and then well, first off, you would just, if I don't give you the 21-day waiver, you would meet without me and deliberate without me. I'm asking as a courtesy that I be able to attend the meeting where you deliberate, but you could simply say, if you're not going to give us more days to deliberate, we're going to meet when you can't be here. So it's mutually beneficial for me to give you an extension of the 21 days after the closure of the public hearing, because I would like to be able to attend the deliberation.
I understand that. I
So-
understand that. But if we close, we just run into other problems. I would like to see it left open and then we close it, we set a meeting that day for you, whether it's March 4th.
I just don't have authority to keep the public hearing is already closed, and that's the dilemma that I have. I think the idea of opening it for a singular day, what's conceived to be a singular day for representation, that we're not objecting to that. I think that's what I have to discuss with Attorney Brennan and Attorney Costa.
Well, this is what.
And on the public hearing, so the public hearing, the expectation would be that it would close on that date, subject to something new coming up and us having, but recognizing that the period of deliberation, that we would close the public hearing, and this commission would then need probably through the first full week of March to meet and deliberate and issue an order of conditions. We would have to therefore put on the bottom of this 21-day waiver, some date, March 8th, for example. Because you would, in theory, be meeting
That seems to work.
to deliberate.
Okay, all right, so we'd have the meeting January 31st, and then,
At what time?
well, it'd be evening, so that the,
6 or 7, what do you guys want?
either way with me, I don't care, you guys,
6.
6?
6 works for me.
Okay, it's a Wednesday, you said, right?
Yes.
6 PM. Okay,
We need this signed. But what's the date we're gonna have, order of conditions, a decision by?
I think based upon everyone's schedule, we would say by March 7th.
You guys good with that?
Thursday, March 7th, because you guys aren't open on Fridays, right? So
Well, see, that makes us, add another date, meeting date, or we could do it on the 22nd, but he wouldn't be here. See, we're trying not to add more meeting dates,
Yeah.
that's the only thing.
Yeah, you're adding in a lot of meeting dates for us.
I apologize. I'm not trying to.
No, hey, I hear you.
If it makes you feel better, I've been getting pulled through the ringer on this one too.
But there's
He's
a
gonna go over
difference.
the
You're being
bridge.
paid.
Yeah, fair enough. That is a difference. That is a difference. That's a meaningful difference.
Okay, so if we go January 31st, that's a Wednesday, 6 PM. And we need deliberation time.
Well, if we go January 31st, we only have 21 days to issue a decision from that.
Right, and the idea would be that I would, because I have requested that you allow me to attend the meeting to deliberate, would give you an extension through, for example, March 7th to issue an order of conditions.
Would you come in at that meeting already with an extension in hand?
The public hearing? On the 31st?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think unless something very unexpected happens, which I don't think any of us are, I am telling you now, recognizing that we are talking about a calendar that will put you outside of the 21-day window, the intention on that public hearing would be to give you the waiver extension, which, again, remember, is mutually beneficial because alternatively, you guys are going to hold the meeting on a date when I can't attend, which is, you're right, but I would prefer to be able to attend if possible.
Okay, so we're gonna have you're not available the 22nd, you're not available the 29th.
No, I'm available on the 29th.
Oh, I'm talking about February. Okay, so.
I'm available February 29th.
Oh, I thought you were away somewhere.
Oh, sorry, the team, no, my team, sorry. I thought you were talking for deliberation,
Okay,
no, for
so
public
your
hearing,
team
I
will
can't
come
get.
here the
sorry.
31st.
That looks really good.
The 29th, we can have a regular meeting and we can call that our deliberation and decision night as well. That way we don't get an extra night in.
All right, so the meeting's gonna be, what date?
January 31st, that's an extra meeting for us.
Okay, and then we're gonna add another meeting on leap year?
The 29th, we'll make that our regular meeting for that month.
Okay, so we're gonna change we have to vote to do that.
Okay, we can.
Change our meeting schedule, we should do that tonight.
Okay,
Can we do that? Can we add another item to the agenda?
Yes, it wasn't reasonably anticipated.
Yeah, it's not reasonably anticipated by the chair.
okay, so the 31st will be to hear the DI Trust 2, get all their information. On the
January
29th, we'll do our deliberation.
Yeah, you can only do that once every 4 years, though.
Yes, that's correct.
So January 31st,
Okay,
January
John.
31st, just to say
6
for
PM,
the record.
that's 6
We'll
PM.
reopen the public, you guys have to make a motion and everything.
Right, no,
But we need to,
but we're getting this here ready because, for Joshua to sign. And, Josh, on
signed it wrong.
the
You have to do it on the line.
31st, want you to come with paper in hand, saying that you will give us additional time beyond the 21 days to March 7th. Are you sure that's enough time to get everything? Okay, March 7th.
So, I do have another issue with the second portion of the waiver,
Okay,
where it states, in the event the hearing is reopened, the sole purpose shall be to permit DI Trust 2 to present evidence to the Dayton Conservation Commission as presently constituted to assure compliance with quorum requirements.
well, that means we're all gonna attend the meeting. So that, and because it's all gonna be repeat information, now we can all vote.
But if there's public input that may be actionable, I feel that sentence strips away our ability to act on it. If we're
We'll,
stating.
no, we'll act on
fundamentally-
that the 29th. That'll become part of our discussion and part of our decision.
But it says the sole purpose is to permit DI Trust to present evidence to the Dayton Conservation Commission. So if the sole purpose, if that's the sole purpose, how does that allow anyone else who has input to allow us to act on the input?
I think it would be part of us taking that, that's why we're all gonna be there to discover what they're inputting, if there is that input.
Yeah.
But can the input be heard if the sole purpose is to allow DI Trust to
So,
present?
to be clear on why this sentence was added, because nothing, just to be clear, nothing in here says that we are agreeing to the public hearing being open, like, that is up to the commission. So this is an acknowledgement that if it is reopened, that the parties generally agree that the purpose of doing that is to address a procedural infirmity. We can't limit public input, we're not attempting to limit public input, I've now said on the record, we're not gonna attempt to limit public input. This is about clarifying that in the event this commission attempts to, or deliberates and determines to reopen the public hearing, the reason that's happening, the purpose that we're all agreeing we're doing that, is because we're putting on new evidence to establish and resolve the procedural issue of a quorum, to put all of this evidence in front of this commission as presently constituted. And you've also got me on the record, because nothing in here that says the public can't provide input.
So that would be for us to take into consideration on February 29th, when we decide. That's the way I read it anyway. Any thoughts?
I'm watching Mr. Reynolds. He's still got a conundrum.
No, I just feel that this language is overly constraining, and I feel like it could interfere with our ability to legitimately act on something that we may very necessarily have to.
And I think because this is being very clear, our expectation is that there should not be new evidence, and we are not anticipating providing it, we are not anticipating receiving it. But if it is presented to this commission through the public, then presumably if it is material such that it would harm us, or this commission feels that it would therefore need more information, you will tell us that. And you can say, we'll close the public hearing, and you, DI Trust, are gonna know we're closing it with this open issue, which is generally not advisable. I mean, we've done a lot of back and forth closing issues, right? And this is what I said to Attorney Costa this morning as well, was that you would tell us that your intention, that you believe you have an open issue that's been unresolved, and that effectively you don't think it's in our best interest to close the public hearing. But we are only agreeing to reopen the public hearing to address procedural issues, not substantive issues. So until a substantive issue presents itself, we didn't want to agree to extend it further and beyond the procedurally necessary steps and dates.
And I just wanted to say, as part of a public hearing with an applicant, that the public input is provided, so that should be inferred by everyone.
Yeah, I don't think, one of the conversations, again, and Attorney Costa could share this with the town administrator, and he could then share with you. One of the conversations that happened today was, this public hearing needs to allow for public input. Acknowledged, this does not prohibit it.
Great.
You're still thinking? Oh, you're all set? Okay, all right.
Could I ask, just for make sure we're all 100% on the same page, that we run through those dates one more time?
Go ahead.
So what I have right now
A leap year.
is, I love that movie, by the way. Public hearing on January 31st at 6 p.m. And it's the intention that we would bring a waiver to get this commission through, to have a, sorry, let me back into this. A meeting on the 31st at 6 p.m., public hearing. A meeting to deliberate on February 29th at 7 p.m. And then you are asking us, which I think I could probably do now, to give you through Thursday, March 7th to issue an order of conditions?
If that's enough time, if it's not enough time, maybe another week or something, I don't know.
Well, could I propose that we do the 7th now, and that if you need more,
Okay.
then we can provide it? I think we'll have had quite a bit of time at that point. But I can provide that now. It's the,
Yeah.
the benefit is I can do that now.
Okay, so, okay, if we close the hearing the 31st, then, but you will issue a letter saying that, you waive the 21 days, order of conditions, to March 7th. Is that what you're,
Well, I think what I'm saying now is I think we're all working together pretty well, so I'm not worried about anyone pulling a fast one. I think I could probably just say March 7th now. I could just put March 7th on here.
Great.
And then it meets
everything to
it
that.
meets the schedule that we're talking about. So
Thank
now
you.
we've got public hearing opening and close on the 31st, a meeting to deliberate on the 29th, and then an order of conditions to issue by Thursday, March 7th.
okay, I would like to see also, a signed letter document saying that, you have extended beyond the 21 days.
Well, I'm proposing that I just put March 7th right directly on this 21-day waiver, unless you want. I mean, yeah.
I'm not sure because that is really for the waiver, which is gonna lead to the reopening.
So this doesn't actually say that we are agreeing to the public hearing being reopened. That's why the sentence that Commissioner Reynolds was
Yeah.
raising is in there. All we're saying is that the only date that really matters under this 21-day waiver is the date that you issue the order of conditions. So what I'm saying is, based upon the sort of good faith we've all built and the dates we all just established, if we just put March 7th on here, then the dates that we've all discussed will work, and you'll have that waiver from us now to get you to that date. You won't need a letter from me on the 31st or the 29th.
You see that way, Mike, too?
I do.
Okay. Okay, so I think we're squared away on what has to be done with this waiver.
All right, but just to be clear, the date I'm gonna write on here, assuming this commission elects to reopen the public hearing, and the schedule we talked about will be March 7th, 2024.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, if you want to
Well,
sign,
so,
if you want to sign that and give it to Lisa, that statement, and then we will vote on, reopening the hearing. We already have a motion and a second, and then we will, I'll take a vote for reopening.
What other town do you?
That's just a date that they need to issue their order of conditions by. That won't be an actual meeting.
Hey, no, but you know, we've already worked through this whole thing though.
I'm just comparing them.
Now, if someone does raise something in public input, are we then barred from having clarification from our agent? Since it does state that information can't be presented by including from their agents, including but not limited to Beta, presumably that covers the conservation agent as well. If somebody did raise concerns about something that was a legitimate resource area, would we be prohibited from getting clarification, guidance, or edification from our agent at the meeting?
Absent us agreeing to reopen this for yes, technically that's correct. But that wouldn't be the operational intention, but it is because we're not intending to take new information at this hearing. This is supposed to be procedural. But again, as I stated, the release valve for this commission is, I think you'll make it clear to us, if you feel you have an unanswered question, it's going to impact your ability to issue an order of conditions. But that's because the hearing is already closed. That's the concept. And that we are agreeing not to put on any new evidence.
Okay. Have you signed your document to give to Lisa?
I have. If you guys are all good with opening everything back up, then I'm fine doing that.
Okay.
It's just be.
Need to take a picture of it. Sorry, I don't have a scanner with me.
Your notes, you can use notes, app, it scans.
So I actually like, do you ever use, sorry for doing this on the public record, Adobe actually has its own free app that converts everything to a PDF for you, which makes it easier and secured. I like that one, doesn't mean that it's
Okay.
great, but it finds the edges for you and everything, and
Oh, nice.
I don't know.
A photo's good too, right?
Yeah, I did both.
Alright, so. Did you want to just sign 2 copies?
No, I'm fine with that one.
Okay.
Okay, we have a motion
Thank
on
you.
the floor and seconded to reopen the hearing for DI Trust 2, file number 17-443. I would like to take a vote one by one. Okay, Dave?
David Phillips, aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Jack?
Aye.
And chairman says aye. Okay, so, we shall meet on this, January 31st, at 6 PM. That is, what'd you say, a Wednesday night?
Yep, here,
Wednesday night, yeah.
I'm sorry?
here.
Here, Wednesday night, and it'll be here, and,
And now we're also gonna vote to change our meeting schedule.
okay, thank you. Okay, in February, our schedule has been, was February 22nd. We would like to change it to February 29th at our 7 o'clock time frame. Is there a motion to do so?
I'd like to propose a motion to reschedule the regular February Conservation Commission meeting to February 29th at 7 PM.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And I think we have concluded. Is there,
Any public input?
any public input? I think we've
Correspondence?
been very upfront as much as we could with everybody. Any public input? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, adjourn at 4 o'clock.